All right, what's going on, everyone? Welcome to another episode of Conspiracy or Just a Coincidence. I am Jack Allen. Today, I have the most famous person on the COJAC podcast, 40,000 followers, runner of two shows, Daywave Radio and Revenge of the CIS, Royce. Royce, welcome and thank you for joining me, dude.
Hey, what's up, man? Yeah, I'm glad to do it. Sorry, I know we're supposed to do it last Wednesday, but I completely forgot, and only because I got really busy. So,
dude, you're a famous guy. That excuse works. If I ran with that excuse, it wouldn't work.
I am not famous. I mean, F-lift celebrity at best, my friend.
I'd give you at least a C, dude.
I barely like myself, so.
So for people that don't know, you could like give a background of you and all those kind of things.
Oh, God, look at background. I don't know. Well,
give me your CV, buddy.
5'9". I'm Cuban, and I just love traveling. No, I don't know, man. I'm a stupid Cuban that got lucky and could make money telling dick jokes on the internet. I mean, that's it. Dude. That's the easiest way to put it, right? Like, I don't know. I just really lucked out. It's luck. A lot of people are like, a lot of people are like, oh yeah, it's fucking rise and grind, dog. You have to fucking rise and grind, and nose of the grindstone. And I'm like, or like one of your videos pops, and like that's it. It's not. I'm not at the fucking gym every day at 40. I'm like The Rock,
But you start. You were telling me earlier, you started though podcasting like what you said 13 years ago, like right when it started.
Okay, hold on. I'll tell you. It's no longer than that.
No way, dude.
2006. When was 2006? How many years ago was that?
16. Yeah, dude.
Okay, 16. Fucking Christ,
dude. That is insane, man. Like I don't even think. And
there was nothing. I'll tell you this. When I started, initially, this is years ago, there's no YouTube streaming, there's no streaming,
right.
There was YouTube was around, but it was to watch cat videos and shit, right? and there was no streaming, so it was just audio podcast, right? And we did that, and I figured out fucking so expensive. Everything's so by the way, you young guns, you too. How old are you?
31.
Okay, you're younger. You're fucking younger than me. You fucking young guns. You got into this shit later on when all this fucking shit is cheap now, you know. And when we started buying home recording equipment for podcasting wasn't even a thing that existed. There was no USB plugs. Do you understand? When I first started, I was using a Firewire. Remember Firewire?
I have no idea what that is, dude.
Okay, well, see, there you go. I had to connect a Firewire to my fucking computer to do it. It was a whole pain in the ass.
I didn't even think about that. No USB. You're right. There's not a USB port, dude. You probably needed like a tech degree to figure out how to even upload it.
It was a nightmare. But anyway, I did that for a while. Uploaded stuff, doing that. And then like the first streaming system that ever came around was one called Mogulus, which turned into livestream.com or .net. We started doing video there, and we're talking about like fucking 320p, because again, it's so you had, right? So it was like 320p shitty one camera thing.
Yeah.
And we did that. I did that for a while. And then, then YouTube was like, oh, I guess I could stream here now. And of course, it's the biggest thing on the planet now. I want to point something out. I was doing a podcast before fucking Joe Rogan.
Yeah. Damn, dude. Wow.
You hear me, I was told by Vox Day, you're just a point fighter. I'm not scared of you. I would never. Have you seen Joe Rogan kick? He'd kill me.
He could kill most people, but yeah.
But anyway, like, so I did that. And then I don't know, Revenge of the CIS kind of took off. I don't remember why anymore. I've been doing it for so long. People always say, oh, you said this. I go, I don't remember that. I do 2 shows a day, 5 days a week. I don't remember what I said today. I couldn't.
Right.
People are like, dude, you're a hypocrite. You said this last show. I go, bro, I don't remember what I said. I'm sorry, but I don't know.
Maybe I am. Dude. I scrolled through your reviews on the podcast, and so they were hilarious. Like some people, I forget what some of it, they were hilarious. The hating ones,
Oh, they hate us. Yeah, but it's fine. I mean, I get it. It's the internet. What are you gonna get mad at it? I don't get mad at it. I'm like, who gives a shit?
Dude, and you've probably seen so many changes though, like because you were in the heyday of YouTube.
Yeah.
Has your show, like, would you say, because I've never seen your earlier shows, has it changed? Like, have you had to self-censor?
Bro, something else you young bucks don't get is the Wild West, man. You guys missed the fucking Wild West. Look, obviously there are benefits now because there's more people. You grow an audience better. Agreed 100%.
Yeah.
But that being said, boy, could you say anything. And I mean anything. And nobody cared. Nobody gave a shit. Yeah, man, there's some stuff. I mean, I have some stuff on computer from back when I first started. There's some stuff that I said back in the day that I could never ever say today. Not only would I be obliterated, I'd probably go to fucking trial for hate crimes in the UK or something.
Dude, yeah.
Again, it was all jokes. It's all fucking jokes and stuff. But it was like, yeah. Now it's like you have to think of a way to say what you're saying without saying it, and it's not easy. I think it's helped comedy a little bit because people have to improv a little bit more, but outside of that, it's fucking terrible. But who cares? Elon Musk is going to save us.
Well, this is why I was like, this segue is working perfectly. So obviously everyone knows Elon Musk bought Twitter. What's your take on it?
My thing is that I don't trust Elon Musk. I've never trusted Elon Musk, and not, but because everyone's out for themselves, right? Whatever. Elon Musk gets a lot of government subsidies for SpaceX, and I don't want a microchip in my brain and stuff like that. However, I will say this. All that stuff aside, the fact that these people are freaking out about this has made me laugh. I haven't laughed this hard, right? Since Trump won. Like, this was belly laughs. These people are losing their minds. And I've never seen, like, dude, Twitter's out of the social media companies, Twitter's is the smallest, right?
Right.
Twitter stock has been on a steady decline. They haven't been making money. No. It's not like Twitter was blowing the world apart. But the fact that all these people are so crazy about this, right, leads me to believe that it wasn't that Twitter was making money or not making money, is that it was a great propaganda machine.
Absolutely.
That's all it was. And they're terrified now. And I'm already seeing it. I will admit, and been very critical of Elon, but I will admit I've seen a lot of old accounts coming back to the past couple of days. Kind of weird, right?
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of people gaining a bunch of followers, a lot of people losing a bunch of followers, like crazy numbers, right? I've seen people, and this is the part where I did notice this. I've seen people that I've been following for years started turning up on my timeline again. And I was thinking to myself, because you don't really pay attention. It's Twitter. And you're like, you know what? I just realized, like, I haven't seen a post from that person in like 6 months. And now they're showing up again on my timeline. I think a lot of and here's what I think happened, because here's the other thing. Elon Musk hasn't taken over yet, right? Like, he's not there with his sleeves rolled up telling people. I think that the reason that they did this whole we have to fiduciary responsibility and this poison pill and all that was because I don't think there was any way for them to get around him buying it. But I do think that they wanted an extra week to fucking get rid and destroy any fucking evidence that they could of their fucking secret algorithm, and it is the tools that they use to shadow ban people and all that. They wanted all that to go away. I think that's why you see a lot of accounts coming back. I think that's why you see a lot of follower changes happening. I think that you see a lot of people getting boosted. Even me, I'm noticing more interaction in the past couple of days. It's weird, right?
Yeah.
So do I think he's going to save the world? Fuck no. I've always said that. I go, you're putting your faith in Elon Musk. Do I think he's going to save the world? No. Do I love what he's doing to Twitter? Yes. It's one of the best feelings in the world to see a giant evil monster just tremble a little bit in fear is always the best. Like I said, since Trump won, there hasn't been anything that has made them as scared as they are. And it's not because they hate Elon Musk because he's a racist. That's not the reason why.
No.
they're scared because if people start saying things and you can't censor fucking Biden laptop shit, if you can't do that stuff anymore, you're not going to win anymore. And I think that's what they're scared of. I really do think that's what they're scared of. And by the way, all you verified F slurs, see, back in the day, I would have said the word. See what I mean?
Yes. Yeah.
Wise in my old age. You F slurs, you're not going anywhere. You're not leaving, and you're fucking liars. I hate these assholes that keep saying like, "Oh, I'm leaving Twitter." The fuck you are. That verified badge means more to you than some of your children.
So true. So true. No, I think you're pretty dead on. Like I love the aspect, like what you mentioned, people are upset. Love people upset. I live for people upset. But to put anytime a billion, there's no Bruce Wayne out there that exists. Like we've already learned this from Trump. These they may say these things, but dude, they don't think about the public at night. They don't go to sleep and say, "Oh, I really got to fight for them." No, they don't care.
Why would why? But and you know what? Why would they? You know, I'm not saying that they should or they care or they don't care. But what I do think is that right now you have a couple billionaires that are slap fighting each other, and I think it's hilarious. And I think it's hilarious mostly because it exposes what they are. You know, like the stuff that comes out of this stuff is always so interesting when people start going like, so you are doing the thing we told you you're doing. Did you see that MSNBC clip where the MSNBC was like, and you know, with Elon Musk taking over Twitter, they could pull people's reach down and and I'm like, what you're doing, what you've been doing, what you haven't stopped doing,
right?
And that's, you know, again, I don't know if it's going to save the world, obviously, but has it made my life a little bit more fun? Yes.
Well, that's all you can look for in this day and age.
That's all that's left. That's all that's left.
You said about the propaganda thing. I'm pretty, and I don't know stocks. I'm like an idiot, and someone probably know. But I remember researching one time. Has Twitter ever been profitable? And it's literally for like, I think it's been going for like 15 years or something. It's been profitable like 2 quarters. All the other quarters they've lost money. So if this is a business, you know, the boomers love the free market America. How is this company still afloat? Have you ever seen that?
Well, I mean, yeah, I'll tell you where I've seen that. You know where I've seen that? I saw that a lot. This is something that I think was undercovered. But remember when there was a while there, right before Trump got elected, when media companies were just mass layoffs, dropping stuff. And I always wondered, like, why did that happen? Well, the real reason is why Barack Obama had this, when he was in office, had this bill that it was one of those, like, you know, truth in journalism, some dumb name like that. And it was basically funding a lot of these journalists to be around. The government was supporting them, right?
Yeah.
And then the moment that bill ran out and it wasn't reinstated, Vice have to fire half their staff. Gawker had to disappear. They blame Hogan for that, but it wasn't Hulk Hogan's lawsuit. I'm not saying it didn't help this happen,
brother.
Yeah. But I will say that a big part of that was what they were not getting the money that they were getting before.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I just like that dude, like, and we all know they have bot accounts and things like that, but the amount of insane people, there's no way it's the actual number that it is on Twitter. Like in those, you know, I don't ever comment on politicians' posts, but I'll read the comments, and there's just no way there's that many insane people. There's no way. At least I don't think so. But you think there's that many insane people on Twitter?
Well, I think that, did you see what, actually right before we went live, did you see what happened where you were talking about reach and fake reach? Did you see where somebody pointed out, like, why did the New York Times have 53 million followers, right?
Yeah, right.
But only get like 50 likes on their post?
Yeah, who? I think Dave Rubin said that.
Right, and I believe, who blocked me, but I believe that he did. He blocked me because I said he got hair plugs. It's not a reason to block somebody. I'm bald, Dave. Whatever. It's not a big deal.
Oh, that was light. That was a small thing to come after him for, but continue. Yeah.
Yeah, not the fact that he's a fake conservative neocon token piece of shit. Again, allegedly. I don't know. I know that he's a really bad comic. You should see a stand-up when he was doing a specifically gay stand-up set. Was not the best. Yeah, so and it is true that but are there that many crazy people? Yeah, I think there's that many crazy people. You know how I know there's that many crazy people?
Yeah, tell me how you know.
I went to a bowling event where I met a bunch of crazy people. Okay. So yeah, I believe they exist. I was cornered at that bowling event while somebody for an hour was talking to me about flat Earth.
No way, dude.
Showing me videos of the sun disappearing behind the sky. And I'm like, what, dude? And I was, dude, mind you, 1:45 in the morning. And I want to go to sleep and I want to leave. And we're just finishing up and ready to close our tab. And he goes, hey man, I had Alex Stein on your show. I like Alex Stein. My only problem with Alex Stein is he doesn't go hard enough on flat Earth. I go, cool, man. Thanks for listening. Hey man, and they're at the bar. Hey man, have you ever seen the video of the sun disappearing behind the sky? Nah, man, I haven't. Hold on. I'm sitting there at the bar.
No way, dude.
Here it is. Oh, that's the wrong one. Hold on.
And for people who don't know, there was a big internet bowling event. And Royce was kind enough to go. So that's what he's referencing. So you can imagine there were probably crazy people. Anyone who lives on the internet, we're all a little nutty. So that's what he's
I got flat smacked, as the kids call it.
Is that what they call it?
Yeah. When you're schooling somebody on flat Earth, you're flat smacking them.
Wow. So are you a flat earther now is the question.
No, I don't give a fuck what shape the Earth is, or leave me alone when I'm at a bar.
What did you bowl?
Poorly.
All right.
Yeah.
Do you put your hands in the holes or do you spin it?
I put my hands in the hole.
Oh,
I'm not one of those,
man.
No, man. You're those assholes at the bowling rink that fucking think you're so cool.
Rink.
Yeah, whatever. You know what I mean. The skating event, whatever. Look, you do the spin it. Look how cool I am. You're not cool. There's holes in them. Use them.
Awesome. So this is a perfect segue as well. I think I just saw on Twitter about the true 1984 fashion taxed out. When it's ever something started, never ends. So we will now forever have a disinformation board for America, or I guess they're fighting on the internet. What's your take on that, Royce?
Well, I mean, okay. Speaking of disinformation board, it's the fact that you know where this started from, by the way, disinformation governance board, because this is actually related. Actually, right now, the UK, I think it's Germany and a couple other, the EU is saying that Twitter still has to abide by their international hate speech laws, or they're going to sue them, or Twitter.
Okay.
Or they're going to sue them or ban them in the country, which means, so wait a second, the UK the fucking EU gets to tell us what we're allowed to say on the internet? Go fuck yourself. Also, disinformation board. We already have a disinformation board. It's called the media, and they decide whether you're allowed to be around and whether you're not. Department of Homeland Security, by the way, has done everything but secure our homeland. Okay. There are like fucking hundreds of thousands of illegals crossing the border as we speak, and Homeland Security is worried about me thinking the vaccine is bullshit. Go fuck yourself.
And no human is illegal, Royce. So I'm going to challenge you on that. No one is illegal.
I have met some of them. They are definitely illegal. Okay.
But it's just, dude, like I know, like, I don't know, Orson Welles or Orson. Oh my God. I'm blanking on who wrote 1984.
Orwell.
Or George Orwell. But in George Orwell, you know, everyone uses that example like, oh, look what our society could turn into. And George Orwell he was like a Fabian socialist. So he was an evil guy. It was a plan, not a warning. But it's amazing just how much of this stuff it is, like how war is peace, slavery is free. It's literally that now. Like everything is so inverted that it's just insane. Like I feel like I've hit my head and I'm waking up in an insane world.
Well, I mean, there's that. I mean, but again, it's it's funny because with the Orwell stuff, it's like, oh, the government's going to be surveilling and the government's going to be doing this. And it's like, it turned out it was major corporations that were going to be controlling us and then selling our information to the government. What we realized was Orwell might have been right about some stuff, but what he forgot is there was going to be a corporate middleman. And that's what there is. There is a corporate middleman, which but by the way, and I'll admit I'm guilty of it too. We freely give them our information.
Right.
We freely give them everything for them to control us, and then they sell it to the highest bidder. Again, I really think we're leading to a place where this disinformation board is going to be like, well, I'm sorry, but you said a racism last week, so you can't drive your car tomorrow. And I know a lot of people think that sounds crazy. And of course that's exaggerated, but I think we are with this kind of stuff. We're getting to like a social credit thing.
Yeah.
You know, like China has, where they're going to tell you like, oh, well, we saw your post online, so you're not allowed to have Amazon Prime for a month. And you're like, wait, what? You know,
but dude, you're right.
I don't know if you've ever watched. There's a show on Amazon Prime called Upload, right?
I've seen the first season. Yeah,
I will say the second season's better. I think I like it.
All right,
I mean,
check that.
Mostly because I understand mostly people are lefty people, whatever. But the problem is they make this stuff and then reality catches up, and you realize, holy shit, this shit's happening. But you guys are doing it, right? Like the show is basically what's happening. So. Just a quick summary is in the future, not too distant future, if you're dying, you could choose, to upload yourself to like this virtual world, right, where you can live out the rest of your life. But the thing about this upload thing that's hilarious is it's run like a cell phone plan, where different people have different tiers, and if you don't have a lot, you're just stuck in a gray room. Yeah, and it's like that. And I swear to you, man, we are leading up to something like that. And I know that sounds crazy, but I really do think, and I'm not so much talking about putting your brain in something else, but I do think that we are leading up to a paid subscription service to be allowed to talk. Like freedom of speech shouldn't have cost $44 billion, right? Like, true. That's fucked up. A lot of people are celebrating, and listen, as I said, I'm enjoying the salt and I think it's hilarious. But the reality of it is it shouldn't have. First off, freedom of speech shouldn't rely on one billionaire. Can we agree on that? Like, that to me is something that no matter what side you're on, you should be going like, yeah, you know what? You're right. One billionaire shouldn't decide that I'm allowed to call you gay on the internet. And, like that's fucking ridiculous. Perfect example. I mean, I'm sure you saw that they blocked me, that Twitter and safety person.
I have the tweet, so keep talking. I'm going to pull it up.
Yeah. So like this Twitter and safety, this is who the fuck these people think they are, by the way. And that's actually what bugs me about them. It's who they think they are. So this is New Wexler, who's been a trust and safety coordinator or whatever for like a bunch of companies like Google and Twitter and the list goes on. He tweeted out, for people who work in the online trust and safety space this week, for people who work in the online trust and safety space, this week is like watching people on the street confidently explain how to fly an airplane. Who the fuck do you think you are? Do you understand?
Right, dude?
Yeah. Your job is to make sure people aren't mean to each other on the internet. You're not a fucking pilot. Who do they think they are?
Dude, that's what's so infuriating is this elitism that exists with these like quote unquote intellectuals, these coastal city snobs. It's like, dude, in school, people were stealing your lunch money. I know this for a fact. Like you were shoved into lockers. And now because you have this blue check, you literally think you are like God, a God. I don't know what your sense of worth is blown out of proportion.
Oh, he didn't delete the tweet. He blocked me.
Dude, I couldn't see it.
Fuck.
No, I couldn't. I think he locked his account for only followers because I
went to his page and it says you're blocked. You can't follow her. Yeah, that's kind of funny.
Dude, that tweet though is just hilarious that I mean, maybe he's kind of exaggerating, but probably in his mind, he literally thinks that the world and America is safer because of what he's doing.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. No. These people, and it's I don't want to say our fault because I've never done this, but I mean, when I say our, I mean society's fault, right?
Yeah.
It's our fault as a society for telling these, man, I know I'm going to sound like an old fucking fuck, but I remember when in my 20s, all I would hear is like, we can't give everybody a trophy. If we give everybody a trophy, everybody's going to think they're special. And I was thinking, who gives a shit? But then look who we are now, where we are, where we're fucking almost 20 years later. And you know what's happening? All these kids that fucking all thought they were heroes and they were going to save the world because everyone was afraid to tell them no, are running the fucking planet, and they think that they are helping. These guys are great bad guys, because if you're into movies or into TV shows, the best bad guys are the guys who think they're good guys. They are, because
right.
They believe they are morally right. They think you are not entitled to say what you want to say. They think that they are the arbiters of good. They have to decide if you're moral enough to have a phrase, and that's who they think they are. And I'm glad they get made fun of, and I'm glad that we're putting these nerds in lockers again, because they virtually in lockers. They need to be put in lockers.
Yes.
Fucking nerds.
We should have done it more intensely, because then they would have had zero self-esteem to even rise to the level of confidence they have. That's what's the frustrating part, where I need to go back in time to make sure that this didn't happen.
No, it is. It's we should have been meaner to them. I just feel like we weren't, you know. I feel like we didn't bully them enough. Okay. And I know that's, why do you think you could tell they were all bullied in school, because what's anti-cyberbullying? We're the bully enforcement. Bully. Shut up.
Well, dude, and that's the only people that get power. That's why, like, you know, Elon or all these people, like, they don't allow, or not Elon or Donald Trump, or like people that, especially politicians, they don't allow people that actually want to do good to get in. So all these people, most of them, maybe not Donald Trump, but most of these politicians were losers. I mean, who do you know any politician that, or a guy as a young kid that grew up to be a politician? I don't. Probably because most of them were either huge dorks, so they love power. Now they will do whatever to stay in power, or they're so degenerate and corruptible that they stay in power because they're degenerate and corruptible, you know? We're
letting a bunch of Ben Shapiros run this country, guys, and it's our fault. Jesus Christ, these fucking nerds.
It's scary, dude. I don't know how you fix like this problem. It's like beyond fixable, in my mind.
I mean, yeah, no, look, man, I've been saying for a few years now, we're through the looking glass, man. We're done. Like, go to fix. There's nothing to fix anymore. Everything's broken. The only the only thing worth a shit anymore is watching these little squabbles between billionaires. This is endgame kind of shit, man. There's a reason why in the original Matrix movie they stopped at 1999 and they said it was the peak of humanity. They were right. Dude, we should have stopped there.
Wow, I didn't know they said that.
There. They did. And that's why in the Matrix, like, oh, you know, it's way in the future, but we stopped at the peak of humanity in 1999. That was our peak. We peaked, and then we let Limp Bizkit become a band, and they caused 9/11, and here we are.
Back when Kid Rock was still dropping jams.
Yeah, and not whatever this weird propaganda, corny, boomer, pandering bullshit song he has out.
Come on, now that's not very patriot of you.
Let's go, Brandon. Shut up. You ruined a funny thing. Why do you guys always ruin good things? You know?
They do, dude.
I
wonder how, do you know how old Kid Rock is? He's way too old to be doing.
He's old enough to fucking know better. I don't know, man. He's a Kid Rock age. Kid Rock is 51.
Wow, dude. Too old. You're too old. You should have go back to the time we were with Pam Anderson when she was attractive and on the poster or the bedroom wall of every teenage boy.
He did get her after what's his face though,
Tommy Lee.
Yeah, so I mean, Jesus, man. Look, all I'm saying is I don't know if I want to be the act that has to follow him, right? I would want a couple Asians in the middle. I'm just saying, you know.
Oh my god, that's hilarious, dude. That's hilarious. So the other speaking of crazy insane celebrities, did you see the MGK or Machine Gun Kelly? I'm calling him like I know his acronym. And Megan Fox, did you see what she says they share their blood in rituals?
Yeah, but there's nothing weird about that. Everyone drinks blood with each other.
Well, I was going to ask when you usually do your rituals of drinking your significant other's blood.
Well, first off, when I do that, I play better music than any shit MGK makes. I'll tell you that right now. Did you see him covering System of the Down?
No.
That's a bigger crime than the blood drinking. He covered a System of the Down song on Howard Stern like 2 weeks ago, and he's really bad.
He was on Howard Stern?
Yeah, of course. Irrelevant people flock to each other.
Right. Yeah.
Howard Stern, the guy who used to be funny, and Megan Fox, the woman who used to be attractive, and MGK, the guy who used to be a rapper, until Eminem dissed him so hard he made him leave the rap game. And
he's actually going back to the rap game as of today, Royce. So
what?
Yes.
Oh boy,
he's back, baby. So if you were missing him, he's back.
I was actually deeply missing him. I love weirdos. These guys are fucking so dumb. They drink each other's blood, and then if you go, hey, I think there's like some weird pagan thing going on, you're like, all right, you conspiracy nut. I'm like, no, seriously, they're drinking each other's blood.
Dude, like these people, that's another thing. Like, I think celebrities have lost some of their power in recent years, and I think honestly Donald Trump has a little bit he could take some credit for that. But these people are so used to being worshipped that I think their brains like break. You're lucky it didn't happen to you being as famous as you are.
Shut up.
But really, you know, like they literally are, or like in the conspiracy world, we say they're worshiping Lucifer. And I kind of like believe that, but yeah, they're just they're off the reservation.
But that's where they are. Again, I don't know with these two. I think here's the truth with them. My honest belief with these people, I think they're tryhards. I think, remember those like weird goth kids in like middle school and high school? You know what I'm talking about?
Yes, absolutely.
The ones that were always weird, and they would always like show up with, cut scars on their arms, but they were the ones for attention, not the ones where they meant it.
Right.
And I think that's what they are. I think they want to be. Look at the picture. Look at Megan Fox's face. Does she look even She looks like an early generation Westworld robot. All right. And the guy on the right looks like he would sell you Xanax that was made out of fentanyl. So what else do you got? You got to be interesting. That's how you're interesting. Oh, whoa, I drink blood, and because smoking weed. Everyone smokes weed now, so you can't be, I smoke weed, man. Now it's like, oh yeah, I do fentanyl, and like, oh, that's cool, I guess.
Do fentanyl.
Yeah, that's awesome. Girl from the Transformer movies.
It's just like, and I don't like, does he get out of bed? Like wears like, remember I saw the one, he like painted his or drew his tongue black. And does he wake up and say, damn, I look, and the one he had like girl fingernails, like, damn, I look good. I just don't know what could possibly go on your mind to say, yeah, that's the outfit I'm going to wear. I love it.
No, he looks like an even gayer David Bowie. Like, I don't know what his deal is. I think it's that edgelordy stuff, right? Like that I'm trying to be avant-garde, like the Johnny Depp effect. This is a great way to describe it, right?
Ooh.
Where like, you're from Louisville and for some reason have a space British accent now. Like, how did that happen?
I had no idea he was from Louisville.
Yeah, he's from Kentucky. This guy's not. Where do you think he's from? Like, this sounds like, oh, I'm from Europe. You're not. You're fucking from Louisville.
No way. He's from Kentucky. Oh my god,
dude. That's my thing. That's the funny part. Is like, and then remember after for a little while, not a while, for a long while. He's from Owensboro, Kentucky. Just that's where Johnny Depp's from.
No way.
Yeah, he what was I saying? Yeah,
we're talking Johnny Depp in Kentucky.
Oh, anyway, yeah. Remember for a while when Madonna dated Guy Ritchie?
Yeah.
And then for some reason she had a British accent, and you're like, you're from Brooklyn. Like, stop it. Stop it.
Or Hilaria Baldwin or whatever.
She's my favorite. I love her. She's
How do you say cucumber?
How do you say cucumber? I'm like, shut up. Shut the fuck up.
From Southie Boston or wherever she's from.
She was from Southie Spain. Like, don't fucking sit here and tell me that you're Spanish. Shut up. That one's that whole thing. Alec Baldwin is God, I love everything that's happening to that man. I mean, not that he killed not that he killed somebody, but I love that he has to suffer.
Yes. Well, speaking of Johnny Depp too, like I'm sure you're covering the trial a little bit because of your show.
Yeah.
I mean, I've briefly watched some of it, but it's just like it's the epitome of what happens with the Me Too movement, the believe all women. I mean, this guy's life, I don't really care, but he lost like it all. I mean, he got kicked out of Pirates in the Caribbean. He's not going to work. Like this movement of feminism, which I just did, it's like a virus, dude. It's a virus.
Well, it is, but I think what's funny is that Me Too movement stopped real quick. You notice how that Me Too movement like kind of died out because what happened is the knife started turning on themselves, right? And who was the one that like was sleeping with a 17-year-old boy? Remember that? That was the story. God, what was her name? This is fucking one of the bigger stories. She was one of the Me Too people who called out Harvey Weinstein, and then it turned out like she was basically like sleeping with a minor or something. Wow. That she seduced or whatever, and nothing ever came of it. Fuck, what was the name? Frozen, are you in the chat? Frozen looks like he's here. Frozen, what was her name? I'm just yelling at my producer and someone else. So, sorry. Sorry. I need to know her name.
Someone says Asia Argento.
Yes, that's the one.
Wow.
Thank you.
Hilarious, dude. It writes itself.
Thank you. Asia Argento, dude. Again, because they start turning on each other, and at the end of the day, they need to cut that shit real quick, because the problem is you couldn't blame white conservative men for what all the Hollywood people were doing to each other,
Right. Dude, and that's like another thing that I'm hoping that Elon's Twitter can stop some of that, but like I worry for the younger generation, not only because of the propaganda that's pounded on them, but also like when you tell a little kid you are inherently evil, what do you think they're gonna adapt? Because especially if they don't have confidence, they're gonna join some woke group because that'll give them protection. Or I don't know what they get on Medicaid. Like it's these kids, dude. I don't know how you don't have any kids, right?
No.
So that's like my fear. I don't have any yet, but that's my fear is what's going to happen, dude. Like this generation, it's going to be a whole mess when these people get older and have to go in the real world. I just can't.
Well, luckily, I live in Florida, and I have a Chad governor who basically said, "Yeah, you're not doing that shit no more." We got rid of a bunch of textbooks too because they had CRT in it.
Tell me your take on DeSantis. I saw your few tweets, and I would love to.
My favorite. I love DeSantis. I think DeSantis fucking rules. He's not perfect. Nobody's perfect, right? But I will say that in Florida, this pandemic never affected us. We lived our lives like nothing happened here. We had a great time, and DeSantis basically, DeSantis basically told Disney to go fuck themselves to their faces and go, "What are you gonna do about it? You gonna leave?" And they're not leaving. So yeah, I mean, DeSantis told Disney like, "Okay, hey, that's fine. You want to make sure that we don't get any money. You want to affect our politics? No problem." Disney had a tax exempt thing since 1967. They don't know more. Wow. He's like, "Yeah, no, fuck you," and he took it away from them. And now, Disney, as I like to say, they fucked around and they found out. And that's what it is. It's like, especially if you're from Florida, like, Disney always bullies everybody. And then the so-called don't say gay bill. Basically, that bill's like 2 pages long, and it just says, "Hey, can you not talk to 5 and 8-year-olds about sex?"
Right.
That's it. That's the bill. And people are mad at that. Like, and I'm like, what are you mad at? And that's the thing. A teacher was like, "Oh, so when my kindergartners ask me what I did on the weekend, I can't tell them I went paddleboarding with my husband." All right. First off, that's the gayest sentence I've ever heard.
Right.
And secondly, I don't remember ever. Do you remember ever in school even knowing if your teachers were married?
No, just by Miss or Mrs. That's it.
That's it. I don't know. Why would I ask my teacher what she did on the weekend? I don't give a fuck. So that's, they're mad at that. DeSantis has just been like, "Yeah, I don't care,"
Yeah.
But by the way, this whole Disney shit's on Florida to Governor Desantis to pound sand. But what is okay? No. Here's the problem with that statement. It's our sand. So I tell you what, Disney. Leave.
Well, dude, Disney is so intertwined with that. Whatever you believe, like an NWO or all of Disney's beginnings. This guy Paul Helliwell helped Disney get the land. Paul, what he's great also known for was starting Operation Gladio, which is selling heroin to the American public only in ghettos like Harlem, and using that money to fund the CIA. So, right off the bat, you have a wonderful birds of a feather opening. Disney theme park.
But I was told the CIA wasn't allowed to operate on American soil.
Oh, well, you're right. They're not.
Come on, man. They were not allowed.
They would never do that.
They would never do that. They would never do that.
Well, I saw like an amazing like graph or whatever, and it was like percentages of which age groups identify as LG, and it was like, the older than boomer generation, whatever they're called, it's like 0.04. The boomer generation's like 0.4. Generation X is like 2. Millennials are 6. And this new one is 24% identify. And Disney is one of the main reasons behind that, I believe.
Disney, Nickelodeon, go down the list. But it's programming, right? It's weird that this is the next move. Like, of course people more identifiable right now because it's cool to be trans, right? It's cool to be like if you're gay, you suck, actually, by the way. You're not cool. Gay's not cool anymore. Gay
not in.
Gay was cool. Remember the whole queer eye for the straight guy. Oh, let's dress him up. Yeah. And I was like, hey man, these gays know their place. I don't mind them. And now the normal gays, as I like to call them, there's a little secret nobody wants to talk about. They don't like trans people. They don't talk about it, but have a conversation when they're drunk and hanging out, and they'll tell you the truth, because it's this thing of unity. But for the most part, lesbians don't like gays, and gays don't. But by the way, you know what that's called? By the way, that's called human nature. Not everyone's going to like each other, right? And I don't, and imagine, you're a gay, gay guy, Harvey Milk, he fought for us to be able to get married, and everyone's like, yeah, oh cool, we can get married. And then some trans person walks in the door and they go, it's about me now,
right?
Wouldn't you be pissed? Wouldn't you be like, okay, go fuck yourself, man, what are you doing here? So I think that for every letter they add, they are basically leading to their own demise. This falls apart. It's not sustainable. And not just because gay people are catty, they are, but it's because you start forcing, and then you're telling, this is the best part about the left, right? You're telling people, both of these groups of people vote for you, right? Like, black people vote for you and then gays vote for you. And you're trying to tell them, look, you guys are the same. You're the same. And they're like, no, we're not.
That's true.
They say, well, white people don't like gay people. Talk to a black family about gender norms. See what they think about trans stuff. You're going to be surprised. And look, probably the majority of them will still vote for a Democrat. Tohowever, when it comes to that issue, and same thing with Hispanic families, that shit don't fly. Remember when they try to force Latinx down fucking Hispanic soda and they told them to go fuck themselves?
Right. Yeah.
No, we're not doing that. You could do that shit over here. It's the same thing with China. Like, China does whatever they want. Because the one thing that you can't do is you can't shame them. That's why they're going to destroy us, because you can't shame them. They don't care. Call them racist. You know what they say? Yes.
Right.
And they do whatever they want. China, literally, Disney's here bitching at Desantis. China snaps their fingers and tells Disney to take out a gay kiss scene.
Point.
Or a black guy take him off from a Star Wars poster, which are both things that happened.
That is,
and then you're going to fucking tell me and think that Disney cares about gay people. They don't in Saudi Arabia, where they're trying to get a bigger Disney Plus footprint. So don't fucking. That's
Dude,
what I'm saying. They're phonies. They're all phonies.
that was an amazing point. I've never thought of it. That's beautifully. You're exactly right. Like, how can you fool? You're right. They take it off and whatever they want done for China. It's gone, dude. It's gone.
The NBA. Do you understand that the NBA, the China has NBA so worked up that they can't get an NBA player to admit, like LeBron James, to admit, like, maybe we shouldn't have people in camps. Like, if they were putting people in camps in Cleveland, this guy would be on the news. It'd be an international incident. But they're doing it in China, and you play there, and like, I'm not going to get involved in politics. Well, unless you're going to read the first 3 pages of every book. By the way, which is something you should look up. Every picture of LeBron James is him reading the first 2 or 3 pages of a book, always. I don't think he can read. Yeah, there you go. There it is. LeBron, king of the first pages of the books. Every book, it's just the first couple pages. They caught him. Showing that he holds these books for the photos. He's not reading them.
No, he's not reading them, dude. If you read a lot, there's no way you could have the opinions. That's why a lot of these blue check marks and people, they're like fake intellectuals, because there's no way unless you read like Robin DiAngelo's and Ibram, whatever, Kenji or whatever his name is. But if you actually read like classic novels and stuff like that, there's no way you could hold on to these beliefs that they have. There's no way.
Well, you know what? Funny you mentioned books, is one of my new favorite things to do is now, whenever we're watching videos on the show,
what?
Point out how many pseudo intellectuals have Infinite Jest on their bookshelf by David Foster Wallace. That's my new bro.
Seen this? Let me look it up.
Bro, it is one of those books where it's like, it's so smart, man, and all the smart people have it. And every time I see someone being interviewed, they have Infinite Jest in the background because they think it makes them look smart.
Yeah. Oh, dude, I'm gonna have to check this book out.
Yeah.
I've never heard of it. So that's
by the way, somebody in your chat has a good point. Like, there's no way you could have read a Malcolm X book and say the things you're saying, because everything you're saying is the antithesis of Malcolm X. Right. Malcolm X obviously don't agree with many things, but I agree with this. When he talked about liberals, he was spot on. He goes, they pretend to be your friends, but they're not. And it's true.
Absolutely. Dude, I forget which book I was reading or what, but they brought up a good point of like how you said, when you add new people into these, like your minority group, they will butt heads because you're forcing people to like each other. And it was like, I think, LBJ was big on that. And in my mind, it was done to cause conflict. They know if you force people, instead of naturally allowing them to either live in the same community or different communities, but by forcing people, that will never work. Does it ever work to force somebody to do something? Will they thoroughly enjoy it? Very rarely.
No, yeah, no, they're not. Anytime I think there's something in human nature, right? Where, and I think this isn't just a American thing or whatever thing. I think there's something instinctually in our brain that doesn't like to be controlled, that doesn't like to be told what to do. Now, what'll happen is that now, now, of course, what they do is now they give you they lower your testosterone. I mean, you've seen those articles that men today that are 20 years old have lower testosterone than men back in the 50s did when they were 60 years old, right? So they basically try to take that fighting urge out of you, right? Mm-hmm. Where if you become addicted to the internet, if you're rolling around in an electric wheelchair like you're in Wall-E, why would you fight back? Why would you? You're comfortable. The whole let them eat cake thing, right? Yeah. You're comfortable. You're fine. Why would you fight back? And I think that's what's happening, right? I think that they're trying to, and I know it sounds dark, but I think they're trying to breed it out of us, know?
Dude, I mean, I'm sure you're hip the depopulation agenda.
Oh, that's real. 100%.
Dude, I just did a show on feminism, and the one point they made, ties in with testosterone. So women tend to pick men that remind them of their fathers. So by effeminating men over each generation, these women now will be choosing more feminine men. And it's just this cycle. They're going to raise an even more feminine male son. And the goal is to make this everyone the same gender, interchangeable, so you don't have kids. And then they'll breed kids in a hatchery like a fish, the correct amount they want, because they need enough, servants to serve them food and clean their toilets and things like that. But it's definitely an agenda. It's a plan.
Oh no, man! Of course it is. I mean, we're all going to turn into like the Goobacks from South Park. We're going to be like one gray servant race.
The Goobacks
for the elite, for the elites, and that's a lot of people tell me like, "Oh, ooh, you're so black pilled. Why are you so black pilled?" I'm like, I don't know, man, because everything fucking sucks. Like, because even and I'm not talking about because things change over time. I mean, I'm aware of that, but it's at the rate of speed that this happened that is terrifying to me, right?
Oh, that's huge.
Because changes happen slowly over time, right? Like over time, and then we went from making gay jokes in movies to if a TV show doesn't have a trans person, they're gonna get fined by the EU. That's where we are now. And it happened like in 10 years? 10 years, maybe?
I mean,
like that.
In 2015, the U.S., I think that was when they legalized gay marriage fully, like in 2015. It might have been a few years. I just Googled it quick. But, I mean, fast, dude, that's 7 years ago.
It flew by. And I always said this about the gay marriage thing. I was always like, and I've always been open about it. I'm like, I was always like, yeah, let them get married. I don't care. Like, that doesn't bother me. Let them do what they want. It's not for me, but do what you want. Right. And then we're here. And you're like, wait a second. How did all this other stuff, this Trojan horse, where everything was snuck, snuck in? But I mean, look, I believe money's a big reason, right? I believe if you are like a Black Lives Matter or you're an LGBTQ group or you're whatever, one of those people where your money relies on victimhood. I mean, it does. Do you understand that? We've turned victimhood into corporations. Like that's what they are. Black Lives Matter is a nonprofit. It's a fucking corporation. You don't buy 4 mansions when you run it if you're not a corporation, right? A tax-free one. But a tax-free, but Disney paying taxes is a problem. Anyway, or the LGBTQ stuff, it's like when you're making money on this, you got to make new victims. And look, does that mean sometimes sacrificing children's genitals to an unholy beast? Sure, but we got to make money. Does that mean burning down courthouses because a cop killed a fentanyl addict? You better believe it, because we got to make money. Why you can't shut the faucet off? That's the problem with movements. And I've even said this. Even with Martin Luther King's movement, at least there was a clear goal, right? The clear goal was look, we want to be treated by the content of our character. Everyone's like, yeah, okay, fine. That's a movement. I understand what it is. And now if you ask people, why are you doing what you're doing? They don't even know. Like I've asked people, like, well, I don't understand. Like, explain to me what the end goal is. Like, if you're a movement, right? The movement should be, our goal is, for example, with the spacers, like our goal is to have a man on the moon, and this is the whatever the goal is, right? Our goal is to X, Y, and Z, and here's where we're going to reach it. There's no goals anymore. Now it's just we're going to see how far we could push the envelope, and then when we get everything we want there, we're going to add 3 more letters to LGBTQ, 2S plus IQA, whatever.
Well, I think
my favorite.
I think you're absolutely. That's such another great Royce. What are you, like an intellectual or a philosopher?
I'm a pothead.
But that's all these people, like the Trojan horse thing you talked about. That's like what they do. They put a message out that every logical, Black people should be able to eat at the lunch counter. Yeah, okay, I agree with that.
Exactly.
And gays should get married. Yeah, it's not hurting me. But then the real goal is to push this like evil demonic plan. And most of these useful idiots that are fighting at these BLM protests, or they don't realize that they're calling for their own country's demise.
Well, we went from gay people saying like, look, what you do in my own bedroom is my own bedroom is my own business, which I agree with.
Right.
And now it's turned into, if you don't let me talk to your children about what we do in our bedroom, I swear to God. I'm like, wait, what? we're
Right.
way past you guys getting married now. This is something else, right? This is something else that, again, it's monetized. And the funny part is when you look behind it and you drill down, you find out that a lot of the people that run these things aren't even part of that group, like,
Right.
one of the head people making money in Black Lives Matter for a while wasn't even a black person, right? It wasn't. It's
Sean White, another example.
Talcum X.
Yeah.
That guy who blocked me.
He
Because
blocked you too?
yeah, he blocked me because I said that, for a supposed black guy, he sure tweets like a white woman, and that made
I
him
saw that.
fuck him. No, he's another fake one, another fake, literal fake black person out there trying to do that. And look, a big part of the fucking racial divide is Barack Obama's fault. Period. Because everyone's look how cool he was. Yeah. All this shit started under his second term.
Right.
By the way, this huge rift in race, this huge marching down the street, this huge white people are evil. Michelle Obama saying that she grew up the black experience. Bitch, you went to an Ivy League school and were fucking the vice president. You were the first lady. Shut the fuck up. Don't tell me about your hard times, like your dusty roads. Go fuck yourself.
Same with Barack, dude. He was, his grandfather was a CIA. He was in Lebanon. His mom was in Lebanon with him when there was a civil war there, or a coup. He was in Kenya. Another coup happens when he's there. Then he goes to, I think, Thailand. Coup there. I mean, like,
yeah, but that and that's something else. It's like, look, I mean, I'm happy that bisexual Barack Obama gets to become president, but I'll tell you this: if I'm Pete Buttigieg, I'd be pretty mad. Talk about another fucking phony.
Well, dude, just buy a Tesla. Your life will be easier.
No, but the problem is this. Oh shit! I'll keep going if you want.
Yeah, sure, dude. Yeah, okay. As long as you want. We'll do another 10, 15 minutes. Yeah.
So yeah, no, I mean, it's. This is where we are now with everything now, right? Where it's just like everyone just we're all divided. We all hate each other. And I remember when I was a kid, of course I had neighbors that didn't vote like my parents did. Everybody did. But we were fine. We went to barbecues together. We'd be like, oh, what are you, one of those union idiots? And we bust each other's balls a little bit, but we didn't hate each other. Right. We didn't. We'd bust each other's balls and be like, oh, what? You gonna vote for Dukakis? Whatever. You know what I mean? Oh, you idiot. And like stuff like that. But everybody was fine. Nobody wanted to kill each other. And now it's like, did you tweet a racial joke in 2008? We're going to dox your family. Wait, what? And that's where we are now. And there's nothing we can do about it. The genie is out of the bottle.
And calling more people racist will not heal this supposed wound. It's just ripping it open. And I think they know that. They have to know that.
The SPLC wrote an article about me.
No way. Did they? I'm going to pull it up while you're talking.
Many years ago, Hate Speech Watch, and they called me and Merch. They called us, on my life, hardcore white supremacist. I'm Cuban, by the way.
Right. That was just
put that out there. I'm Cuban, by the way. My first language was Spanish, and I was born here. But my first language was Spanish. It was Miami.
That's awesome.
So I'm Cuban, by the way. And that's where we are. So my thing is very simple. Yeah, that's the one. Man, what year was this again? 2018. Oh my god, that was a while ago. Yeah. So what we were doing at this event was, and I thought it was hilarious. There were a bunch of more boomers there, right? The more rally, and we were getting them to say outlandishly crazy things. Now, of course, since people don't understand humor and people don't get jokes, the SPLC said we were super serial. Yeah. So anyway, they call me a hardcore white supremacist. So my thing is, it's very simple for me. Like, my point is super simple, and it's I've always said this, and I'll always say it again. Once you call me a Nazi, what else can you do to me? Like, what are you gonna call me now? Come on, what do you got left?
Right. Well, dude, it's lost any value, that word, or any
Yeah,
and it's
meaningless.
Oh, dude, and everyone is Hitler, everybody. And which is also fascinating to me, because It's because people's ability, like their history of knowledge or knowledge of history is so poor that they can only remember this one story where they created like the most evil bad guy, he's the Thanos character. There's been not hundreds, but tens of leaders that have massacred way more.
Worse. They were way worse. Absolutely.
But people, because they're so dumb or just so uninformed, they can't understand that I'm sure if you did like Man in the Street and asked people what politician killed the most people, they would all, I'm sure, say Hitler. I'm sure.
But again, because they don't understand communism, they don't understand Pol Pot, they don't understand the meat grinder that was the Communist Party. They don't understand gulags. They don't understand it because they don't need to. They don't need to understand it because it doesn't matter. They don't need to recognize that there was yeah, of course there was a Holocaust. There also was an Armenian Holocaust. We're not talking about that though, right?
Right.
So it's, of course, because I believe it's easier to control people when you have a bad guy, one bad guy, right? You have to have a bad guy. If you don't have a bad guy, if you don't go, Trump's not there anymore, right? So they took that boogeyman away. So now what we're finding out is, all right, you got all the power. What are you doing? And what you're doing is nosediving the country into the ground. Inflation, we're falling apart. Our supply chain. Food factories are blowing up. Like these are things,
I saw that.
It's weird. I don't give a fuck. I will say it. Fucking something's happening. That is not that. No one's gonna sit here and tell me all those are accidents. 2 planes, 2. Work on your propaganda. They suck with their propaganda. They're bad at it. You used to be good at it.
I think you're right. I think they're getting lazy. They're not, they're copying someone's homework, not trying to come up with new ideas.
Yeah. Back in the day, you guys had better writers. Yeah. All I'm saying is that, right? They did.
You're absolutely right, dude.
They at least the propaganda was palpable where you'd be like, you're right, I am a patriot. But now there's a difference between 9/11 propaganda, which so much of that was fucking propaganda. But there's difference between 9/11 propaganda where you're like, oh, they attacked this country. Oh, this country was attacked by Saudi Arabia, by the way, which we all ignore.
No, is this man hiding in caves, dude? I don't know. He was using carrier pigeons and able to orchestrate an elaborate scheme that NORAD couldn't even figure out. That's what happened. Don't be a conspiracy theorist.
Yeah, no, I'm not gonna be a conspiracy nut. No, nothing. Building 7 just happened to fall down. Look,
fire.
Yeah, fire from copier paper. You're right, of course. How silly of me. Of thinking could have been anything else. They just lie to us. But anyway, at least that propaganda we're all like, yeah, man, America. But now the propaganda is like, all right, do you know this country you couldn't find on a map? We're all gonna fucking blame. We're gonna absolutely destroy the economy, and we're gonna blame it on Putin now. He's the new Hitler. Putin is the new Hitler. And I'm like, are you guys? First off, the Ukrainians are the ones that have a Nazi battalion. So shut the fuck up. Right. Don't you fucking say he's Hitler. And secondly, you illegally, with our help, had a coup in the Ukraine and took over a legally elected president with our help and the CIA's help. And we installed not someone who's a political actor, like someone say, oh, a political actor. We installed a literal actor to be the leader of Ukraine. And we're the good guys. Right. I'm sorry, but if I remember correctly, going by the new rules, that's called an insurrection. What we helped fund, we helped and funded an insurrection. And the biggest sin that the guy had before Zelensky. You know why we did that? Because he was friendly with Russia.
Interesting.
That's it.
Wow.
Because outside of that, all I'm saying is one side has the Nazis. One side has, and not like neo-Nazis. No. They have literal Nazis.
And I don't know how that, they came to power, because they're like it's like their National Guard in this area, right?
Well, here's what happened. So basically, initially when Russia was invading the country, when Russia was threatening to invade the country and they were fighting for freedom or whatever, the whole Crimea thing and all that, there was a strong nationalist movement in the Ukraine, right?
Yeah.
I want to say 2014 is when they formed. Anyway, that's nationalist movement ended up being one of the most they've admitted it. They are one of the most well-trained battalions that they have. So you can't cut off your nose to spite your face. So Zelensky they have to work with them. You know, you have no other choice. Wow. I mean, I guess you could give civilians guns and turn them into targets. Who would do that? I don't know. Zelensky would, though. Fucking, he's not the look. I'm not saying Putin's a good guy, by the way. Here, he's not. But there could be two bad guys.
Yes.
And by the way, even if he is a good guy, it's not our country. It's not our problem.
Agreed.
Stop calling me an isolation. It's like it's a bad thing.
That's what we were founded to be an isolationist.
Yeah.
But that's I didn't know. So that's because I'm sure, like in that Operation Gladio, they've trained thousands of soldiers in Eastern Europe to fight the communists. The CIA did, and hide weapon caches and insurrection on countries. But it's just funny how the news blatantly ignores this, or just, you know, even in America, if you're called a Nazi, it's the worst thing ever. When you have a literal Nazi over there, well, you just don't understand the situation.
Well, yeah, no, you don't get it. I mean, Trudeau's a Nazi. He's another one. I mean, all these fascist people. Like, again, it's this absolutely, well, because they'll throw everything at you, right? And the problem is like what they're doing now and what's happening now is you're going to make more crazy people, because you start isolating people and you put them and you shame them. And if somebody says, oh, you know, I actually think that both of them are wrong, and then you're called a puppet of Putin and whatever, you're like, I think just fuck you then, right? And then fuck you, I don't care. And that's where I'm at right now. Like, look, I feel bad. I don't want anybody to die. That sucks, man. I don't want anybody to die. But that being said, there's a slave trade going on in Libya, and there's a war in Yemen that's kind of our fault. And why aren't we doing anything about those children that are being killed? What about all the child soldiers that are being killed in Africa? Because don't tell me about morality when you selectively enforce it. The only difference I see between the people getting murdered in Africa and Ukraine is that Joe Biden's kid doesn't owe Africa money. But it sure seems like he owes Ukraine some money. So
yes, or they're making a bunch off of it.
Or either way, my point is that this seems like the most brutal way to run a money laundering scheme.
I totally agree, dude. Yeah. So that brings me to the last time I wanted to get your take on crypto, but the money laundering thing, dude. And that was so they have to come up with a new way, right? Because in the 60s, they used the Vatican Bank, and that to like the 90s, or they just created fake banks. They literally created fake banks to launder money in offshore accounts. They had like 20, and eventually they would get caught. Wells Fargo.
Do you know how many banks exist because they started as money laundering schemes? Like, that to me is my favorite. Like, there's banks that exist because they funded cartels. And
dude, yes,
it's and I think I think it's 100% a money laundering scheme. 100%. I'm not saying there's not other things attached to it, but I'm saying that is a part of it.
I totally agree. That has to be. Like, there's so few utterly corrupt places left for them to wash their cash.
Yeah,
that's why they're fighting to keep Ukraine, because where are they going to go next?
Where else are we going to build our secret biolabs? Are going to tell us don't exist but totally exist. Where are they going to do that? Where are we going to hide those?
Exactly, dude. No, so that's why. So crypto, what is your opinion? I think it's a money law. It's because but first you tell me your opinion, and then.
I mean, I'm not. Like, Mersh is way more into crypto than I am. I do have money in crypto though. Yeah. I do. Because here's my take. Okay. Yes, you're right. There's probably a lot of money laundering and illegal stuff going on with crypto. Absolutely. It's probably founded on it. It's the entire backbone.
Right.
That being said, explain to me how it's any different than Wall Street, and then we'll talk. But that's my point. Like, look, man, you can invest your money in one thing or invest your money in the other thing, right? The only reason I kind of like crypto is because it's not going to be for long, but it is nice to have a nice fuck you to the Federal Reserve. and be like, fuck you. You know, what are you gonna do about it? And now they're gonna do something about it, obviously, because you can't have any money they don't control.
They don't like that.
Yeah, it's their money. We're just borrowing it until we die. It is.
Well, no, you're absolutely right, dude. I mean, the whole I'm reading a book. If you like ever want it, it's the history of central banking.
Okay,
and dude, what's that?
Oh yeah, no, I'll check that out.
Yeah, dude, it's like amazing what I mean, just step by step, revolution after revolution, installing this. The Bank of England was the first chip, and they knew it would enslave the population, dude. They knew it would enslave us.
Well, yeah, I mean, of course, and it did. And then they took this off the gold standard, and we're like, now this money that we're enslaving you with is worth nothing. Have fun. And you're like, wait, what? Now? You mean I can't get it in doubloons or a silver coin? Wait, what? Yeah, no, we're just gonna tell you what it's worth. Oh, okay.
And then we're gonna print the shit out of it.
And then we're going to print more than we could have. And then we're going to be like, oh, no, Putin's the reason we have inflation. Not because we've been printing billions and billions and billions of dollars since the fucking housing market crashed.
Dude, it's just, what do they call it? Transition. It's just transitory inflation, though, Royce. It's not here to stay, dude. It's going to get better.
Yeah, no, you're right. And they just want to get married. I know. I'm with you. I'm with you.
Oh, dude, that's a perfect joke to end. So, where can people find you, Royce, and all those good things?
Revenge of the Cis on YouTube or Daywave Radio. Daywave Radio is my morning show, also on YouTube, but it's everywhere. The podcast and all that stuff, you'll find it.
Also, just so you know, I tried to play your podcast today. They say your episodes aren't there, but we can. But anyway.
Oh no.
It says like they can't play them, and then I clicked on other shows and they would play. So maybe it was just me.
What was it? Spotify?
No, it was Apple Podcasts.
Well,
let me see if it'll work now.
Stupid.
And I was like, "What the heck?" And then, but all right, but everybody, well, let me see if it works now. All right, it works now. I think. All right, we're good. All right, everybody.
Apple sucks, so that's the problem.
So this is Royce from Daywave Radio and Revenge of the Cis. Go follow him on YouTube and everywhere. Everyone, thank you for listening, and we'll talk soon. Peace.
A lot of fun. Thanks, man.